seeing the campus, Mr. Goodness. Amazing university stuff. You should go check it out. Anyways, it was really a wonderful conference. We met inspirations, we met new people. Now, this Global Issues Network, GIN, they were selling these shirts, and they were actually people of Bangladesh. We're selling these shirts with Imagine, original, inspirations, really amazing words written on shirts, given out with the GIN on it. Why? Because it is Global Issues Network. What is Global Issues Network? Now, it's just a virtual idea that was made up by a couple of students, and it doesn't have a website, it doesn't have a base, it doesn't have like a main city. People started making their own conferences in their own schools, calling it the Global Issues Network. Now, when I looked for a definition, I couldn't find one. But according to me, or to me, when I went to this conference, it was a place where a person can have inspirations, where he can meet them, and where global issues can be discussed and find solutions, and maybe you can use those things you're passionate about in a way that can help community or society. And we met a lot of presenters. First of all, Robin Muzwai. She's from Free the Children, one of the most amazing charities, one of the biggest charities in the States and in the world. Another one was Philip Abido, who is from Changing Goodall's Roots and Shoes. It's an environmental thing. Chris Vashnali, who works in cultural exchange. Kiara, the lady from South Africa, who talked about human trafficking. Ryan Subali from Nepal, who talked about his own charity which he started. Justin Bernard and Frank Cohen, which are both from an organization called JUMP, which taught us something called the Know, Care, and Act plan, where you would know what you're passionate about and use it in a positive way. First, I'm going to talk about two people in this presentation, who are Robin and Chris. Now, first of all, Robin was a teenager, just like every one of us, who had a bad teenager life, or adolescent life. She used to disappoint her parents, be angry at her friends, everything we do. So she built a bad reputation for herself in high school. She wanted to change that. So when she was 21 years old, she decided to move to Kenya. She found a family in Kenya that took her, that adopted her. Now, she told us much about her life. She wrote a book about it, and the culture she lived in was called Messiah. Because that was the house she lived in. It was made of mud. She moved from a suburb, from a villa where they had internet and TV and lights, into this thing, which was this tall. She had to crawl in to go in. It was made out of sticks, wood, and mud. And she stayed there for 1 whole year. And every morning, she would wake up and walk 4 hours to get water. At 3 a.m. in the morning, her mother would wake up. Now, the name that her mother called her was Nasiriani. It's a Kenyan name which they used for her. So she used to tell her, Nasiriani, let's go get the water. So they used to walk 4 hours every day just to go get water. This is how they lived in Kenya, in rural villages. So when she went back to the US 1 year later, she decided to join Free the Children and try and give the children and the people there a better life. So when she went back, she made their water program, something called water program, where they can find distilled water. So see those gallons over there? You see them everywhere here, especially in this country. Okay, now I got 2 gallons. As you can see in that picture, the only water that Kenyans know is colored brown. They've never heard of transparent water. So there were 2 gallons, and Robin showed it to the women, to the Kenyan women, and then when the women saw the brown water and the distilled water, they couldn't believe it, so they couldn't believe they were slipping inside, so they brought their own water and started pouring over it, because it was unbelievable how uneducated these people were. So that's about Robin. Another person is Chris Vashnali. This man is my role model. He is my inspiration. This man was an actor in The Sopranos. Most of you know, I'm sure you do. He was a very good actor. He had a lot of roles. And his agent told him to drop the acting program, the course he was taking, and go take a break. So Chris listened to him. He went to Switzerland for 1 week. And he missed the auditions to a show called Gossip Girl. He was auditioning for whatever his name, John Bass. I'm sorry, I just don't want to say it. So he went back, his agent told him, okay, you missed the auditions to Gossip Girl, you're fired. So he pretty much had nothing to do. Chris was just a regular actor. So he decided the headlines of extreme poverty and how people don't have water and no education, it kind of reflected him, so he went to Tanzania. He did his own show called Bridge the Gap. I'm going to show you a video now called Tanzania in Brooklyn. He met a Tanzanian named Alaboud. He took him to Brooklyn for the first time from a rural village New York City, and it's really amazing. I hope you guys like it.
2 years ago, I was in Tanzania to experience life on the other side of the planet. Now, my friend Abdul has come to Mauritius, Tanzania to experience life in New York, in the United States.
Unfortunately, I won't be able to show you the whole video. As we already said, we don't have much time. But you can find, go back to the presentation. You can find this video. You can find this video online on Chris's website called chris-anelli.com or bridgethegaptv.com. Besides the people we met, we did a lot of activities. We did a lot of activities that the Global Issues Conference was hosting. Some of us went to something called paddleboarding. I don't know if you've heard of it before, where you stand on a surfboard and you have a paddle and you just move yourself and pick up garbage from the middle of the sea. Another was a trip to Lulu Island, where they gathered garbage. Another was an arts and crafts thing to raise awareness about littering. Next slide, please. Okay, now here's my most important part. The people we met there were from a lot of different countries. Now this group was called, they called it villages. So this village is called Kijiji. Kijiji means village in Swahili. Now Robin taught us that. So our group was consisted of people from Bahrain, from Cairo, from from Abu Dhabi, itself, from New York. A lot of people from a lot of places, from Vietnam, from Korea. It was such a multicultural thing, and how you would meet a lot of people that you don't know, discuss so much important, discuss so much important global issues about like gender equality, achieving primary education, all those stuff. When you discuss them with someone you don't know, and you find amazing solutions, you hear amazing things, some things you haven't heard before, you wouldn't even imagine hearing. Solutions that would be a little too far-fetched, but you know that someday you can get there. That was my best part. On the last day, after the conference, we went to the biggest mosque in Abu Dhabi. This was just our school. So why did I do this? I just did this to show you that present inspirations can be strong. And this trip was wonderful, even though it was only 2 high schoolers, it was me and Osman. We were the only high schoolers to go on this trip, but personally it was one of the most amazing trips I've ever been to. Most inspiring, most fun. I just can't explain it to you. So that's why. Next year, I hope to see a lot of you guys here, especially those who are looking for community service hour. Juniors, by next year, you're going to need community service hour at university. Sophomores, especially the same thing. Join this stuff, try and maybe change because everybody can. Thank you so much for listening. I hope you like it.
We have a certificate from the Global Issues Conference for Osman. 2 cities that represent the United States. So congratulations. All right.